of Entrepreneurship in Africa, and in 2010, he created the Tony Elumelu Foundation, the leading philanthropic organization empowering African entrepreneurs and championing African entrepreneurship. The foundation's flagship initiative, the TEF Entrepreneurship Program, is in its 10th year with over $100 million commitment to identify, train, mentor, and fund 10,000 African entrepreneurs. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome two men at the forefront of this partnership that we're trying to foster and try to encourage today between the humanitarian world and the private sector. Welcome, gentlemen. We're going to let you have this conversation, but one of the key things that we would like to have you discuss today is why the Tony Elumelu Foundation was selected in Africa and in Nigeria. But gentlemen, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Me or you?
Welcome to the. Let me, before you take the floor, let me, on behalf of our country and Africa, welcome them all to Nigeria and Africa. As you have seen and heard today and seen the documentary, he has been a great global citizen. He's been highly supportive of humanitarian activities in this part of the world. And most recently, and to me most significantly, is moving or changing the way humanitarian assistance should be given in the world, and in Africa in particular, at a time like this. Most of us have always said that in giving in Africa, we should give with the perspective of making people self-reliant, self-dependent, and also that at times, that most times, prevention is better than cure. And what ICRC is doing under your leadership is significant. It's actually telling the world, pointing the world in a new direction, a progressive direction, a sustainable direction, a direction that helps to truly transform, helps to truly prevent, rather than spending money curing. And that, to me, is what is most significant about the partnership we have. And that, to me, is will be one of your lasting legacies as the president of ICRC. If you look at what we're doing in Nigeria through the partnership, northeastern part of Nigeria was challenged, the Niger Delta part of Nigeria was equally challenged, creating economic opportunities and hope for our young men and women is the best way of pointing them away from extremism. It's the best way of saying this is how to live and make a decent, and it is work. Thank you very much and welcome.
Thank you very much, Tony, and Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues. It's wonderful to be back in Nigeria. It's encouraging to see such a large group today here because, as I said a couple of days ago and witnessed myself in traveling through the country, this is the world in one country, with all its diversities and with all its challenges. And when I was just up north in Maiduguri, Uguno, 2 days ago, talking to displaced populations, looking at surgical theaters, engaging with the volunteers of the Nigerian Red Cross Society, I was confirmed in what Tony just mentioned beforehand. On the one side, it is important that we maintain our ability to assist and protect people when they are disrupted by violence and war, and this is an emergency humanitarian operation which needs to continue to go on in order to help people survive. But what brought me together with Tony is not only that we have a blue suit and red tie. What brought me together with Tony is this deep conviction that with longer and more protracted conflicts, we need to bring people much earlier into independence. We need to bring them back to normal lives. We need to give them income opportunities. And I was struck over the last couple of days to see, when talking to the displaced, when talking to those disadvantaged, they don't want handouts. They don't want to go back to normal lives. And even if they are in refugee camps, even if they are in IDP camps, they want to do something. And we insufficiently take care of this fundamental desire of people. If we put people at the center of our attention, there is a simple answer on what you have to do. You have to help them survive. That's classical humanitarian work, and we are committed to continue that. And we need states and public powers to finance. But then, we need much earlier than ever in the most fragile, violent foreign societies to show a pathway to independence and to dignified life. And this goes with income-generating activities, with productive activities, with small businesses. And this is why I think we partnered with Tony Elumelu Foundation. Our insight as a frontline humanitarian organization into the functioning and the difficulties in these fragile contexts is, I think, helpful to Tony Elumelu Foundation. And the Tony Elumelu Foundation's knowledge about how to start business, how to engage, is exactly the tool which needs to come together. Tony was very gracious in his comments, but it needs two to tango. And I think it is important that we, from a small scale, a relatively small scale issue that we are partnering today, that we are able to spread out and to speed and scale. And I think that's what this meeting today is about. How can we speed and scale? Again, the discrepancy between needs of people in many parts of the country, in many parts of Africa, is huge. There is a lot to do, and many more than those we think are able and willing to go to productive work. And this is such an important element. May I just say one last thing? I think as much as we appreciate at the Red Cross philanthropic engagements, corporate social responsibility engagement by the private sector, at the end of the day, what we want is partnership to enhance capacities, and is your ability to make capital available for productive work. We need the state then, and I was very happy to hear the representative of the government of Princes listening to. I think we need the state also to help us securitize some of those investments in particularly fragile contexts. That's the reason why we have launched a Humanitarian Impact Bond, with which, by the way, we started to construct the Physical Rehabilitation Center in Maiduguri. I think these are the types of partnerships between public, private, and humanitarian organizations which we need to understand, to scale, to speed, in order to have a qualitative other impact on people in need.
Thanks, Peter. I think, I don't know if we heard what he said about what has been consulted in delivery. Could we just please give me I think through the partnership that the Tony Elumelu Foundation and the ICRC, a lot is happening, and again, that shows the catalytic impact of your vision. Because when we started Tony Elumelu Foundation with the Federal Red Cross, that was the first in size, and it was 200 beneficiaries, which was about $1 million at the time. Today, UNDP to economically empower 100,000 Africans, started with the Sahel region. Again, the whole essence is to make sure that we give economic hope and opportunities to our people, and to complement what the SRC is doing, and make sure that we reduce these cases of fragility that we see all across and around us. In listening to our big brother, the president of Lagos Chamber of Commerce, he did talk about the need for the private sector to come on board. In fact, and you said it is self-enlightened interest. That is what it is. We have always preached at the Elumelu Foundation that violence or poverty anywhere is a threat to all of us everywhere. So we don't benefit from being cocooned or living in our paradise. We need to make sure that as private sector, even for our businesses to do well, we need peace, we need security. We need to make sure that income per capita is evenly distributed and spread. That is what will help the world that we live in today. So your cost is right. What the Red Cross, the ICRC is doing is wonderful. We want to make sure that, as in line with your appeal, we get more people involved. We need to open it up. And I'm happy also that the government is responding. I was telling the president that I was very happy to see our president receiving. Our president does not really, he doesn't receive many people, so it's a very unique, and it tells you how the country goes ICRC. It tells you that we appreciate what is happening. We know there's always room to do more, but the ICRC under your leadership is actually showing the world how to intervene in fragile economies, so that we want to have less fragile economies that we can prevent that from happening. So thank you.
Thank
you. If people in the audience, Peter is going to speak now, but if people in the audience want to ask a few questions, simple questions, we are also open to do so.
Well, on my side, let me just emphasize again a couple of examples with which I would encourage also eventually to discuss and see the opportunities during the discussions today. Just to illustrate some of the points I made before. I mentioned to you I was in Maiduguri, and one of the more unconventional activities that ICRC has done is that instead of trucking water into refugee communities, we have rehabilitated the water system for more than 600,000 people in Maiduguri. We have done it in one place in Maiduguri. But when I look at the project today, I'm surprised how little money would be needed in order to do a second and a third project. Now we have the proof of the example is existing. It's an investable project which could very well be taken over by private sector, securities by the state, 3.5 million Swiss francs to build a sustainable water distribution system for 600,000 people in Maiduguri. 3.5 million is nothing compared to what the riches are and the capitals are, and it is productive because after a certain amount of years our best forecast is that this system will be profitable and it will generate income. So these are investable projects. We have partnered, for instance, in new technologies with an application which allows the medical doctors in the field to identify quickly humanitarian illnesses of children. This application, we want to test it here in Nigeria. We want to roll it out here in Nigeria. It has been tested in other areas, and it has been demonstrated as being highly effective in preventing child diseases. it's an investable project. So I just wanted to mention you these few examples in order to encourage a broader discussion here on how the private sector with different instruments and humanitarian organizations can partner together in order to have a bigger impact.
That's the way to go. We have
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, we're going to come to you with a microphone. If you could just show us your hand. Any questions? Okay, we have one.
Okay, good afternoon. Good morning, everyone. I am Samuel Elumelu by name, from Delta State. I'm part of 2019 beneficiary of the Elumelu Foundation and the ICRC partnership. I specifically came to identify the impact of this program in our area. My focus, our company will try to process stash and package it neatly. But what really brought me into the entrepreneur field was 2015. I was inside a tricycle, these are a camera, and I got drained by rain inside. And that got me thinking. And since then, I tried to follow Tony Elumelu right up, where in our online training program, he said, inventions don't normally come from those in that particular industry, but it comes from far away distance. I read computer education, but that invention came on tricycle. That took me to China to get a technical partner and applied last year, and I did it. Now my question is this. I developed the tricycle, the design, and I want to develop the prototype, which I have tried to pitch with the Delta State government. They've given me a little audience to the industry. When an inventor or an entrepreneur have an idea that needed to be funded to develop a prototype, and you'll find out that the financial part of it seems somehow big. Where can the foundation or ICRC comes in to bring such kind of novel idea? Because I and my team have done some research work, and I can confidently say, if really implemented, it can create over 200,000 jobs in Nigeria only.
All right, so let's let them answer that question, but great question, thank you.
That's my question, sir. How can such kind of partner bring a prototype of such kind of magnitude into reality? Thank you.
Your name is Samuel, right? Your name is Samuel, right?
Yes, sir.
First, let me congratulate you. I think I like your spirit, and they say that necessity is the mother of invention. What you've done, being beaten by the rain, and the brain immediately switched to a solution, and what you're doing today, congratulations. And there are many people in your category, and that's again a reason I'm so appreciative of what ICRC is doing under Peter's leadership. And if find more people like yourself for us to support. The Tony Elumelu Foundation, we support 3,000 every year, but we know it's just a drop of water in the ocean, because we have over about 300,000 applications every year. And just selecting 1,000 is just nothing. But through this kind of partnership with ICRC, others also coming on board, our intent is that every year we should be able to increase the support to at least 10,000. That will create some impact. But even at that, we still need more capacity to do, to want to do more. In your case, capital is extremely important. And I like that you talked about the online training provided by the Elumelu Foundation, which is very good and is good attended for me. What the Elumelu Foundation and the ICRC will do is to provide seed capital to give you the opportunity to prove your concept. Now, to go to second stage funding, will not need like a bigger platform. So the good news is United Bank for Africa UBA set up a robust SME desk, small and medium enterprise desk, to fund people like you. And they have an arrangement with the French Development Agency, AFD. They have put some money to even also provide some risk guarantee to people like you. So go to any of the branches or online. I don't know the online email address, but there's online or any of the branches, and you'll be able to access, process, apply, and let's take it from there. If you need any further assistance by way of support to go through the program, you can go to the Bill Foundation online service, and the alumni engagement manager will also assist you to put you through with the UK desk. But again, congratulations, and I would like to know your story, please. If you keep me informed, you know my social media handle, my mail, messages. I would like to leave Elumelu at email address. And it would be nice to know how you're faring. And even if you need some mentoring, some advice from time to time, feel free. Your story is quite exciting. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Can I just very briefly add an element here, which is a recurring issue which we encounter. It's not only with regard to Nigeria, but in many other places of the world. I think we need a type of fund which is for R&D. An R&D fund are not capital fund with return on investments. Speed and scale and partner. It's good to think about a fund which is able to finance prototypes, to finance R&D, and to finance exactly what you mentioned before. And then you need a different type of capital deal and funding when you want to put that to market. And I think one of the big issues today which we encounter is that for those situations, a lot of small enterprises still fail on microcredits. We have to enhance the possibility of success. And I think this is the most challenging issues, to have a panoply of tools and instruments available so that you can go from the more philanthropic to the full market, because people will not manage to jump that gap in one step. And so we have to make available different fundings and line up different types of fundings in order to have success at the end.
No, that very well said, which is, first you have to have ability to prove your idea. So this kind of CCAP, that's why the foundation will give $5,000 non-refundable. So it's just like grant to help you. So it's important to prove that idea. And once you prove it, then we have different kinds of funds and intervention that can now help you to take it to the next level. And we get the next level, we just need to get it higher level. So what is lacking in our environment is that some of those venture capital funds, angel funds, R&D funds too, are not quite as available as you would expect to see. But one of the things engagement we want to have with government is to see how we can incentivize, incentives shape and behavior. How can incentivize people to feel that gap? Yesterday I was discussing with the CEO of the Development Bank of Nigeria. He's quite concerned. He called me and we were discussing, and we're having a meeting this weekend. How can we do more for this segment, your segment? How can we work together to capacitize people further in terms of capital, in terms of knowledge, education, and business practices? So keep the hope alive. Assess the UBSME desk I talked about. Also, let's see what the Development Bank of Nigeria is going to do. And more importantly, government using the incentive to shape behavior, to get people to maybe a lot of tax, rebate, etc., to support people like you, and complement what the ICRC, the Investable Foundation, what we're trying to do in this area. Because we realize that people like you have to create employment. we need massive, a lot to be done in the area of creating employment in Nigeria and Africa. Otherwise, the population boom we have today can become a big disaster. And that is on the mind of everyone. How do we create jobs for our people? How do we create jobs so that we can engage people positively and take them out of extremism? Very, very extremism. That's very important. So good luck again. Your story is quite exciting. I like when you said you can create 200,000 jobs. Did you say 200,000 jobs? We also want you to achieve that. Let's monitor your progress. Thank you.
Great. All right, we'll take some more questions. I think we have a question here.
Hi, Libby George with Reuters. I'm curious if you can talk a little bit more about the investments that you've made in the projects that you've done, and if any of them have been profitable, as you're discussing, or how other businesses could model based on what you're doing.
Don't hear you.
Sorry, new to the microphones. Libby George with Reuters. Curious if you can talk a little bit more about the programs that you've done and if they've been profitable yet. And if not, I mean, how they can be a model for other businesses who might want to get involved with what ICRC is talking about.
So, I wear two hats. I have the philanthropic hat and I have the business hat. So I think your question relates to the philanthropic. So at the Elumelu Foundation, what we do is, first we committed $100 million to supporting young African entrepreneurs. So every year we support 8,000 of them. We give non-refundable seed capital of $5,000. But more importantly, we train these entrepreneurs every year. Hence, we talked about the online training. And the whole intent is that over a period of time, we will be able to help create at least 1 million jobs on the continent and increase intra-African trade, increase prosperity on the continent. Now we've done the 5th year of this 1,000 support every year, and the story is interesting. I would encourage you to visit the Elumelu Foundation website to read more about the report. My colleagues who are here will also track it and give you some literature. We believe we're making progress. We believe that gradually jobs have been created. What we just heard now from Samson, right? So Samuel is a testament to the fact that we're creating recording some success. But you know, 1,000 people, we don't expect everyone to be successful. But the intent is that the majority of them should be successful, so that collectively, all of us working together as entrepreneurs will help to alleviate poverty on the continent, will help to create jobs that we need on the continent, and raise the economic prosperity, and make sure that people are encouraged and optimistic about the future. Another aspect of what we do, and I think the progress, the success there is very easy to see, and that's why we're here, that we have partners like the ICRC who come on board and say, let's work together to help alleviate poverty, let's come together to help strengthen fragile economies and societies, let's come together to help prevent people from behaving in a certain manner that creates higher social issues for the public. So that, the fact that we're here, this partnership, discussing this partnership is a testament to also the success that is here. We see ourselves, what we do at the foundation as athletic. We want the development world to realize that it's a new way in the 21st century of giving, of helping to develop the continent. And we're happy that people are giving it to listen and be involved. We also see what we do as athletic in engaging and encouraging successful African private sector people to also be involved in trying to create prosperity everywhere, democratize, I should say, prosperity, realizing that poverty anywhere is a threat to all of us. And the words of the chairman, president of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce, that is our self-delighted interest to do so. We think there's progress. What more can we do? We need to keep training. We need to create, like the Entrepreneurship for the TF Connect. It's a digital virtual platform that helps to link entrepreneurs, bring them together, trade with each other, but more importantly also expose them to investors so that once someone is together, you have investors who participate, who can see what he's doing, he prospers there, and be able to put capital to support it. So, but there's still a lot more. The universe of possibilities is quite
I can give you just a very short example with which we have made quite astonishing successes, and it's the transformation of the delivery of goods into displaced communities, transformation from delivery of goods to making cash available. And if we combine it with capacity building for business, we had quite astonishing successes that people who have been dependent for years from handouts have transformed their cash into business opportunity and within 1 or 2 years became independent. Today, ICRC entertains more than 700,000 people by cash grants worldwide. And the success rate is much bigger on cash grants than it is on handouts. If we combine it intelligently, what Tony mentioned before, capacity building for business, you have to combine those elements to bring them to a different type of fruition. If you just repeat the same systems, you won't have success. But when we do new combinations, that's where success kicks in.
Okay.
Can we take one more question? Okay.
Okay. Let me stand on the steam protocol. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dr. Kunle Meguawo. I am a member of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and the chairman for the medical group. Mr. Health is broad, and it means that everything we are discussing here today evolves around health and wealth. Now, we have a paradox. The paradox is we are having an abysmal brain drain in Nigeria. However, we are here discussing how do we invest, how do we build capacity, how do we do social investments. Corporate social responsibility is now seen as corporate philanthropy and corporate investment, which is very key. However, who are the people that will be core volunteers in this? The medical professionals, the nurses, the doctors, the pharmacists. These are the core people that we need to provide health care to our people. If 90% of our health practitioners are moving out, I am impressed with what the Elumelu Foundation is doing, building entrepreneurship and building capacity of the younger generation and making sure that we are converting poverty to wealth. But if you're not healthy, you cannot be wealthy. Medical college or medical school, medical training, there is no entrepreneurship as part of the training. So what are our medical practitioners and nurses, what are they looking for? They are looking for greener pastures. How can we convert the brain drain to brain gain? How can we begin to build the capacity of our medical professionals in terms of entrepreneurship, in terms of ensuring that we build a healthcare system? Because if we must be sincere with ourselves, our healthcare system is an emergency state. If all our medical practitioners and nurses move out, some will still be here. Our people will still be here. They will need healthcare. When there is emergencies, when there is crisis, we will need them to volunteer. We will need them to go to the remote areas. They can't come from the civilized world and come and volunteer. So it means that as they are coming out of training, they need to have entrepreneurship training. They need to be empowered. We're talking about 10,000 entrepreneurship. How many of these people are in the health sector? I want to employ that because of this today's gathering is to begin to look at this separate agenda on healthcare, building the capacity of health professionals, empowering them. For every medical or nursing, they have a WhatsApp group. They are talking. They want to come back to this nation. They want to build the healthcare system. But something is also always hindering. There is no capacity to build. So I am suggesting that we take healthcare as a special treatment and begin to build the capacity of our entrepreneurship, of our medical practitioners. Just as we have 10,000 entrepreneurs that we are looking at, can we create a percentage for the healthcare space?
Great comment, thank you. The gentleman would like to respond?
Well, I'll start to respond with one important element. When you heard this morning the president of the Nigerian Red Cross Society, this is another great partnership we have. And I think in our response in Nigeria, of course, health and health services is the core. But we don't deliver it as ICRC by expatriate doctors coming and nurses coming to Nigeria. By and large, this is one of the largest capacity building efforts that we are engaging with, and it's a partnership for capacity building. When I was in Nigeria, just in the last couple of days, the key deliverers of health services are volunteers from the Red Cross Society, from the Nigerian Red Cross Society. And it is our strong ambition that wherever we come in as internationals into a context, we try to transfer capacity, to work closely together with the national societies, to build its capacity, to enlarge the knowledge of the volunteers, to bring them into professional lives as volunteers. And I think that's an important element. Afterwards, of course, you discuss a larger issue of brain drain. But I can assure you, from what I saw and what I see, supporting volunteers and the National Red Cross by international efforts is one of the most powerful first responder and frontline responder activities that we entertain. So I just wanted to highlight the importance of it, and it's not the solution to everything that you have mentioned, but it is an important core element, in particular in those areas which are very fragile and difficult in which we operate.
So, I agree with you. Health is wealth. A healthy nation is a wealthy nation. In our country, our continent, we can do a lot more. The issue you raise is, in my viewpoint, much more fundamental than this. For starting from the Elumelu Foundation, what I would in this space, the entrepreneurship program we have is sector agnostic. We have people in healthcare, medical field who are beneficiaries of the program. But we can all do more. And it starts by fundamentally addressing the issues that we have in healthcare delivery system. We have the demand and supply issue. We have, elementary economies tells us that demand must be effective. And in our environment, we have supply is challenged. Challenged by the drain you talked about, by lack of facilities. And by the way, my wife is a medical doctor, so, and that was something you're talking about. Should I give part of it? So I know the frustrations you guys go through, and I know family members who have just gone abroad because they say they don't have the facilities to practice their profession here. But we need to make sure that the supply element is strong, and for the supply in the medical field to be strong, then the demand has to be effective. We don't have a good national health insurance program. And my viewpoint, is one of the biggest challenges we have in healthcare delivery. And I want to seize this opportunity to call on the National Assembly, this National Assembly session that just started, to help Nigeria improve our healthcare system by passing a law that addresses our national insurance scheme to change code to sham, and we will see a revolution in the healthcare system. That bill that says, today look at our population, close to 200 million population, and the working class, less than 5% are enrolled on the national insurance scheme because you may. Let's just change that. What that does is it helps to fuel effective demand. And naturally, for the solution in the world today has to be private sector driven. Naturally, once the demand is effective, supply will come. All these Nigerians, supply coming in the case of hospitals, equipment, lab centers, and you see the brain drain will reverse. So the solution to that problem, the healthcare delivery in Nigeria is now hands. The National Assembly should help us pass that, and this is the time to do so. So that we begin to address the brain drain, the medical tourism, and so many other things that will help this country take off. Almost every family feels the pinch of the lack of adequate healthcare delivery system for a country in the short term. So you go beyond just setting 10,000 entrepreneurs or 5,000 entrepreneurs. The fundamental issues must be addressed or to fix the healthcare delivery system in Nigeria. And all of us, every medium, the media, the president here, we need Senate and the House of Reps to help us pass that bill so that the country can take us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, can we please give a rousing round of applause for this wonderful conversation, which has whet your appetite for what is next. The President of ICRC, Mr. Peter Maher, ladies and gentlemen. A round of applause, please. And of course, the founder of the Elumelu Foundation, Mr. Elumelu. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for such a great conversation. We're going to do some photo ops, just the two of them first, and then I'd like to call on Princess Aderemi Adebowale, Mr. Babatunde Ruwashe, Chief Mrs. Nike Akonde, and Elder